Hey, everybody. Remember me? Yes, it's me, Brent Thomas, your host of the Paranormal Portal. And ladies and gentlemen, we're back in the studio. We made it home. Everything went wonderful, as you probably know. But before I go any further, I suppose I should introduce my good friend and co-host, the man who piloted the craft that took us across the country, or at least an hour and 45 minutes away, to Medellin Falls, the man who kept me alive and safe throughout that entire journey. My good friend, my co-host, the one and only, Mr. Don Longbeard. Welcome to the show, brother.
I want camera? Hold on.
Yep, just go ahead and chew that up. It was a joke.
No seafood. No seafood.
No.
Hey, Brent. Yeah, made it there safe and made it back safe. And, geez, it was just an awesome event. It was awesome.
It was incredible. In fact, that word gets used all the time in reference to this event. It was a lot of fun. And ladies and gentlemen, those of you who didn't see it, we did several live streams over the weekend. In case you didn't know, in fact, in case you didn't know what's been going on, Don and I just got back from Medellin Falls, Washington State. On Sunday night. We had spent all weekend over there at a Bigfoot festival, the Medellin Falls Bigfoot Festival. And it was an incredible journey. It was a great drive over there. It's a beautiful drive, for one. For two, it was an amazing event. It was chock full of some of the really some incredible names. Not bad. It was really, really impressive for the first annual Bigfoot conference in Medellin Falls. They did a smaller version of it last year.
Yeah.
It was called a town hall. And of course, a few of the speakers that were there last year were there again this year, but so many more. And of course, we got to meet Bob Gimlin.
Yep.
That Bob Gimlin, the Bob Gimlin, who, not the one that has a YouTube channel, but the one that was right there with Roger Patterson in recording the whole Patty incident in Bluff Creek, 1967. Well, Bob was up there, and we had several opportunities to talk with Bob, and had a great time. What an absolute saint of a person. I mean, he's just a kind, wonderful, engaging, and warm human being, and it was really wonderful. I was a fan before all of this, but I really did fall in love with the guy. I mean, he was just such an endearing person. And he's got this, like I said it on the stream before, but he's got this amazing ability to make you feel like the most special person in the world when he's talking to you. It's just, his eyes light up and you can tell he's happy to have that moment with you. And it's really sincere. It's like really from the heart. So that was amazing. And we got to meet Russell Accord, who's an incredible guy. And Don and I had met Russ before at the studio where Bigfoot Today is filmed. And we just really love Russ, too. I mean, he's just such a nice guy, such a funny guy, just a great sense of humor, and an incredible, energetic man, too. I mean,
Yes.
he was moving all the time. Everywhere that guy went, it was like...
It was just like a rooster tail.
I know. It was,
The dust flying, the guy's just moving.
it's like the Roadrunner. Meep, meep. And he was just always on the move. That guy has more energy than I've ever had in my life. And it's just a really wonderful person as well. We got to meet so many people. Ken Gerhard was there again, and Don and I met him as well.
Yep.
We met Shane Corson of the Olympia Project.
Yep.
It was a lot of fun. We met Nate Rudd, too, who didn't speak there, but he did stop by and say hello. He happened to come in and be a part of the festivities for the day on Saturday, and it was really wonderful. I mean, just really... Everybody we met was just incredibly kind and warm and welcoming. And the town of Medellin Falls,
Oh, my
folks,
goodness. They went all out.
they went all out. It was
Like
incredible.
a major event.
It really was. I mean, it truly was an incredible event. It was the whole town rallied behind it and really pulled everybody that visited there into their hearts. I mean, it was just so warm and loving. And the Washington hotel where we stayed, which was really cool, and we had a good time. We had a lot of fun. And
Don't forget, though, we got to say that even the ones of you who showed up.
Oh, yeah.
Karen and her
Karen Alberding, she was there. Deanna came with her partner as well.
And Justin was there.
And Justin came.
Yeah, he came and showed up real quick. And that was it. What the hell's wrong with you guys? Special thank you to our listeners. That was awesome. Thanks for showing up. Yeah.
You guys were there for the streams. Several of you were there for the streams, and that was really cool too, because I really wanted to bring you guys into the experience as much as we could. And we were there doing a purpose as well. It wasn't just like, hey, we're going to wander around and just, film things, but we were there for a purpose as well. And so every available moment that we had, I did my best to bring it to you in the form of live streams and have discussions with some of these people. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. I've gotten a lot of great feedback from that. So thank you all. But we had a hell of a time. A special thank you to the Cutter Theater and Stacy at the Cutter Theater. She is just a wonderful person. Liz, who worked in the kitchen at the Cutter.
Oh, my goodness.
They pampered us so well.
Oh, yeah.
They were so wonderful. And the Washington Hotel, the people there were wonderful and amazing. And the whole town of Medellin Falls was just incredible. And it's very dear to our hearts. And we're definitely going to be there next year when this happens again. In fact, in some ways, it can't happen soon enough. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go back. Don, how about you?
I like a little rest. It was that incredible that I've got to take some time.
Yeah.
Driving back, we're just talking about, this happened. Yeah,
I know.
Sure did.
That
happened. It sure did.
We were like kids talking, like after you just opened your present and you go back to school. We were like those kids just talking about, oh yeah, and remember this? Oh yeah, and did you see this? And did you notice that? And it was just, we were just glowing all the way home. So very, very cool. And a very, very special thank you to Extreme Expeditions LLC, Northwest LLC, and Stephen Majors specifically. He made that all possible for us. And Bill Bassan, who bent over backwards, he and his wife
my goodness.
were absolutely amazing.
He was harebrained when he got back on Friday night.
that poor guy. Yeah, we both said at the same time. He was running laps around that town, keeping everything together and making sure everything was good to go. And it really was very, very seamless. They did a hell of a job for the first time they've thrown an event like that. Mm-hmm. It was incredible. Yeah. You can tell people really gave their blood, sweat, and tears to make that happen. And so thank you to everybody in that community. Thank you to everyone that came, right. And including the festival goers. We got to just talk to many, many people, and several shared stories with us, which was really cool. And that was a lot of fun, too, just talking about...
Karen said, me too. We had so much fun. Me too being... talking about it all the way home, and that's awesome. Awesome.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. So we're just excited for whatever comes next now. And Don and I are talking about another one that's in Washington, but we'll get back to you with details about that. And maybe we can make that happen. We'll see. And it would be more in Western Washington state. But anyway, what do you mean no?
It's kind of Southeast Central
Washington is what I meant to say. I'm very geographically challenged. So anyway, that's a wrap up. We just wanted to start out the show tonight since it's our first show back. Just wrapping that up, saying thank you to everybody, thanking all of you for being a part of it. Thank you to those of you who made the journey and were a part of it in that way, and thank you to those of you who might have bought the streaming of the of the speakers.
Yeah, sound off. Whoever got the streaming, let us know so we can.
Yeah, let us know absolutely. How that. I'm really curious if any of you did buy into that and how that was received. Right. Did it work good and was everything okay? Please let us know. But we'll be absolutely excited to do anything again. It's nice to get out of the house.
Yeah. So someone asked Karen if she got a picture with Bob. And Karen said, yeah, she sure did. But she says this, too. So did my hubby. And got one with him, with Brent and Dawn, too. Highlight for us. You're awesome. Thank you. That's awesome. Yeah, there you go.
Got to use the sound effect for that one. That's beautiful. Yeah, of course, it was really cool. And Deanna was there. She was wonderful. And Justin made the journey to be there for the day on Saturday. That was really cool, too. All kinds of cool, folks. So anyway... since we got that all wrapped up, I guess all I can say is I hope you're ready because it's getting creepy. All right, all you weirdos, get buckled up because it's time for the news.
The news.
Excuse me, I forgot to mute the mic before I coughed. That's what I sound like off camera. Sorry.
What it was like Marge's, one of Marge's sisters. And
Yeah. Coughing up long cookies all the time, yeah. There you go. Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Paranormal News Network. I'm your host, Brent Thomas. I'm your anchor, Brent Thomas, and this is my co-anchor, Mr. Don Longbeard.
Hola.
Yeah. So we're going to bring you the Paranormal Portal news, and hopefully you enjoy this selection of strangeness from the Paranormal Portal. Let's get right to it. We got a few articles I pulled up here. I hope you find them wildly entertaining, but let's get to it.
Wow, 6 thumbs down. Sorry.
6 of them.
Yeah, gosh, we love them. They don't understand how it works, but okay.
That's all right. They can whatever, they can sit on their thumb if they want. That's fine. Ooh, thank
Yellow
you.
Jacket Horner. Sat in the corner.
Thank you. All right, I'm here all night, folks. All right, let's get to the first article of the night. That is from unexplained-mysteries.com. What are the odds that UFOs are alien?
What? Really?
I don't know. I guess, 50-50,
Wow.
70-30, 80-20? I don't know. I'm thinking they're mostly alien, but let's see what this says. One scientist is using what is known as Bayes' formula to determine the probability that UFOs equal ET. Anders Sandberg, a James Martin Research Fellow at the University of Oxford, takes a look at how big is this? Yeah, I'm going to say 80-20. And moving along, 80-20, mostly UFOs, folks. No way in hell I'm reading that. Do you see all that math in that?
I know.
I just pulled this up right before the show. And nope, I'm not getting into this. Do you guys want to hear about it? I can read it if you want. It's really not that long, but all right, I don't even understand. How do you break it down into a formula? PR evidence, UFO is aliens. PR, there are aliens. PR evidence. I have a headache already. We're going to move along. That's way too smart kind of stuff for me right now. Let's get back to the next, coming up next on the program. I'm going to say 80-20, mostly aliens, 20 otherwise, else,
Oh, goodness.
other, 20% other. Okay, we're going to go with my formula because it's my show. All right. We try to we endeavor to bring you the news, but sometimes
It's not really
not really news. It's just my hot take on it when I look at something that daunting and go, no, I'm not reading that. All right, here's a weird one from unexplained-mysteries.com, folks. And this one is woman falls in love with her alien abductor.
Wow.
Twilight, anyone?
Stockholm Syndrome.
Yeah, no kidding. I loved him. He had such a gentle touch.
His skin was so smooth.
Not a whisker to be found.
Oh, jeez.
All right, an alleged alien abductee claims that she's fallen head over heels for one of her extraterrestrial abductors.
One of them.
One of
Wow. Can we do that again sometime? I like being abducted by you. Wow.
I don't even want to go any further with that because that's going to get so ugly. So quick, it's going to go right down the drain. I know it's going to. It's already starting, so we're circling the drain as it is most of the time. But anyway, in a bizarre story that has emerged in the British press this week, Abby Bella, who hails from London, claims that she's fallen in love with an alien after having an abduction experience.
Wow.
I don't even know that I want to know what happened. I joked online about wanting an alien to abduct me, she told the Daily Star, which is probably a very newsworthy source. I then started dreaming every night of a white light. One night, a voice in my dream said, "Wait in the usual spot." The next evening, I sat next to my open window. As I drifted to sleep, a flying saucer appeared outside. There was a bright green beam which transported me to the UFO. During her experience, she recalled encountering 5 tall and slender extraterrestrial entities and immediately described forming a close connection with one of them. There was one who connected with me, she said. I felt the same. He said I had to consent to go with them, but I didn't want to say yes in case they took me forever.
Who cares? You obviously got to go to another planet to find a guy. Or another, let's say that. But apparently nobody's going to miss you if you're like that. Wow.
Within 20 minutes, she was back in her apartment. It was a quick date, Don.
Apparently so.
How?
She's already drunk. Just put her back in her bed.
I was in space forever, okay? However, it seems that she now regrets her choice not to go with her extraterrestrial soulmate and is now eagerly awaiting his return. I hope he comes back, she says. I'm willing to visit the Andromeda Galaxy.
So how do they know how does she know they're from Andromeda?
I'm sure they shared all kinds of things,
I'm sure
Don.
they did, yeah.
Pillow talk.
Yeah. Cigarette smoking. That was so good. By the way, do you want to come to the Andromedas?
How'd you like to come home and meet my parents?
I got a dog.
But did she really have a genuine abduction experience, or was the whole thing a dream? All things considered, it seems unlikely that she'll be heading to outer space anytime soon. There you go, folks. I don't know.
Rachel gets it right, says this is the exact plot from Earth Girls Are Easy.
Earth Girls Are Easy. Oh, okay. Well, there you go. I guess, that's probably one claim to fame is just take old movie storylines and make them your own.
There you go.
Make them your own, folks. I think
Taco.
life imitates art.
There you go.
Taco, just send me that link. I need a link, brother. If you want me to share, I'd love to share. But I sent you an email I didn't see back. So I'm willing to work with you this one time. But, yeah, Taco's got something he wants to share. All right, so. Oh, this one's. Am I off? No, I don't know. Where am I? There we are. Okay.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, this one's kind of cool. And I don't know if this is really paranormal, but it's more natural world kind of stuff. Unexplained Mysteries brings us huge living fossil fish can live for 100 years.
So can sturgeons.
I was thinking the exact same thing. And I wouldn't doubt if some catfish could too. A fish once thought to have died out in prehistoric times is continuing to throw up surprises for scientists. Not that kind of thrown up. Large, elusive, and found in deep in the oceans where until they had relatively recently remained hidden away from human civilization. A coelacanth was first discovered in 1938 at a time when fossil evidence seemed to suggest that it had been extinct for 66 million years.
Wow.
Its remarkable similarity to fossil specimens from that era led scientists to declare it a living fossil, a moniker given to creatures that have remained practically unchanged since prehistoric times. Now a team of researchers from France has determined that the coelacanth also happens to live for a very long time, upwards of 100 years. To determine this, they discovered that marks on the scales of the fish can indicate its age, in much the same way as tree rings can indicate the age of a tree. Their research also revealed that the coelacanth is particularly vulnerable because it grows slowly, reproduces only in late middle age, and can be pregnant for up to 5 years.
Wow.
Oof. That's a long time to be carrying. Good thing they're in water.
But are fish technically pregnant if they lay eggs?
I don't know.
Okay.
I that's a great question. I think so because, of course, their offspring develop in the eggs rather than in the womb.
Right.
But our results thus suggested it may be even more threatened than expected due to its peculiar life history, said Dr. Keelig May of North Sea Fisheries Research Unit. Consequently, these new pieces of information on coelacanth's biology and life history are essential to the conservation and management of this species. I would agree with that. I mean, that's I thought it was really cool when they popped up. I mean, I wasn't alive then, but I heard about it during my lifetime.
Right. So here's an interesting idea.
Okay.
So if coelacanths can live up to 100 years and they've been thought extinct for 66 million years, why the hell do people have such a problem believing that there might be a Sasquatch?
That's a great question. I don't know. I'm not sure. Because I think we believe we know the land. Like most people have this arrogance about, well, it's land. We know that because that's where we live on. But we don't live in the water.
Yeah, but somebody threw that back at me. Well, we're all over the United States, and so there can't be too many places we haven't been. And I looked down and I said, there's 750,000 hectares of unexplored wilderness in the United States. Tell me how we would have been to every acre.
Yeah, I don't know.
Just tell me.
I don't think that it's possible that there's been human feet on everywhere.
Yeah.
No way. No way, considering we're only a few hundred years old.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or 200.
Whatever.
What are we? How many hundred are we?
17,
18, 19, 2. Yeah, 300.
16,
yeah.
17, 18, 19, 20, 21. 5 centuries.
5.
The 1600s.
Oh, well, yeah.
Well, unless you go back to
no, we're not
then
going
it's
back.
1400s.
We're not going back any further.
So
than
if you
that.
go back to the if you go back to the Pilgrims, you've got 16s, 17s, 18s, 19s, 20, and then 21. That's six decades or 6 centuries. 600 years.
Yeah, but 21 is 21 years, not a century. We're not in the 2100s. We're in the 2021. So is it 500 years?
Oh, sorry. Yes, correct.
All right, we got that all organized here, folks. But yeah, I don't know. In that time, and since mostly people were on the coasts for a long time, they weren't really.
They had to live near the ports.
Right, the ports were how they were sustained for the longest time. So, here's another one. This one kind of concerns me.
Oh.
This is apparently the murder hornets are still around, folks. And if you're not familiar with the murder hornets, these are these giants, like 3 or 4 inch hornets that came from Asia, and now apparently have taken up residence right here in the U.S. of A, or at least North America. All right, and this comes from unexplained-mysteries.com. Great site, by the way. You should check it out if you're looking for paranormal news. This is where you go. Dead murder hornet discovered in the U.S. Look at the size of that.
I know, huh?
Now, there's a guy that had a TV show. I got to just do this. This is a little bit of a sidebar. There's a guy that had a TV show, and he would let or make insects sting him.
Oh, yeah.
And he said one of the worst stings he had was one of these murder hornets. And then you could look at it and go, that's an awful lot of insect right there. That's very strange. But I imagine they pack quite a bit of venom too.
Yeah.
All right, but let's read what's going on here, folks, because last year I remember hearing that they were here. That they had found some and weren't sure if it was just an individual or if there was a nest somewhere. But the dried up specimen is the first giant Asian hornet found in the United States so far this year. Measuring, 1.8 inches long. Well, it sounded bigger. It looks bigger in that picture.
Well, but remember, your hand's only like 4.5 inches across. So.
Oh, there you go. Well, it looks like it's most of his hand.
Force perspective.
It's plenty big anyway. 1.8 is nearly 2 inches. That's a lot of bug. And with a venomous stinger, 1/4 of an inch in length. Mm-hmm. That's a deep sting, too.
That'll get you in the heart.
I don't know. I don't know whose heart's running that close, but I'm betting they wouldn't get through too far, but it would hurt like hell. You probably want to die. But anyway, the murder hornet can actually prove fatal or lethal to humans and is responsible for up to 50 deaths a year in Japan. God, that would suck. That would be a horrible way to go. In addition, these predatory insects are known to attack honeybees, which, unlike their Japanese counterparts, have no innate defense against them. Right. You know what they're going to do, Don? They're going to bring in Japanese honeybees.
Oh, Jesus.
And we're going to start a whole new bee, just like we got killer bees.
Killer bees. In the
now
80s.
We're going to end up with Japanese killer bees.
There you go. Japanese murder bees.
Yeah, they'll be murder hornet bees. Preventing them from gaining a strong foothold in the United States, therefore, it is very important.
You think?
Yeah, I know. It's like of all the bold one, deep statements. It's like, no, we want them. The find is perplexing because it's too early for a male to emerge. Said, huh?
You skipped one.
This particular specimen is found earlier this year in Snohomish County, Washington State, by a member of the public who grew concerned about the presence of the insect in the region.
You think?
Where's Snohomish, Don?
Snohomish is Everett, Seattle. It's above Everett, Seattle. Seattle is King County, and then Snohomish County just north.
Okay. Wow. Is that the Olympic Peninsula area?
Well, it's the Seattle area.
Okay. I gotcha.
No, it's not. It's not the peninsula. That's on the other side of the sound.
Oh man, that's really disturbing. It says this new report continues to underscore how important Public reporting is for all aspects of invasive species, but especially Asian giant hornets. Asian giant hornets.
Okay.
I can't even say it. I got something I would love to say. It was hilarious, but I can't do it. I can't do it. It's hard to host a family-friendly show, folks. I'll just say that. We'll now be setting traps in the area and encouraging citizen scientists to trap in Snohomish and King counties. None of this would have happened without an alert resident taking the time to snap a photo and submit a report. With any luck, efforts to prevent the insects from setting up a home in the estate will prove successful.
Right.
Well, I'm sure if it's this year, they got a home in the state.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, most insects don't live past, a few months at maximum. Maybe a year, but
Well, no, bees winter. They hibernate over winter.
yeah, but how many years do they
A
live? A couple?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's possible. It's this.
Hornets are just bastards. They just do whatever they want.
Right. Well, there you go. I've got plenty of hornets or wasp nests. Not hornets. I got a hornet nest right under the front. Never mind. I'll tell you later.
Okay.
It's near the front door, though.
Sweet. Hey, Don, what's wrong? Ah!
Don, why do you have a cloud around you?
Why me? I'm glad I'm right next to the hospital.
Yeah,
I'm going
I know.
to the hospital, buddy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we're close. That's the good thing. So the first nest was found, according to this report, October 24th, 2020. And they found a nest.
Right.
Entered the U.S. May 3rd, 2020. So, monstrous hornet in her closet. That's, I don't know what that kind of hornet is, though. Probably different. Asian hornets begin appearing in the UK. Is this on purpose? I mean, I know that they can be, catch a ride on a ship or something, but my God, that's
It'd have to be a whole colony, though.
You'd think, wouldn't you?
Yeah, it'd have to be a whole colony.
I mean, if it was one, I know like one wasp can kind of start a colony, can't they? Or do you need two? I don't know how that works. But anyway, I'm not an ornithologist or whatever. Is that a bug doctor?
I don't know.
I think so. I don't know. It was a word that came to my head, so I'm using it. But anyway, let's get to the next one, folks. That's the murder hornets. They're here. Be careful. I don't know where they live. I don't know how they do their thing. But if you're hiking in the wilderness around western Washington, be careful. That's all I'm going to say. Let's move along to the next one. I got several articles here. So this I don't think if it's, I don't know. This is probably not really news. Let me look at it first, though, too.
So they're talking about flamethrowers in the chat, right? They're talking about, get the flamethrower. Here's
Kill it with fire.
Funny thing. So I had this, they're called piebald hornets. Piebald hornets. And,
they got that white face.
yeah,
or whatever. Yeah, they're
and I
nasty.
hate those bastard doggone things. Anyhow, so they had set up camp in like my dog kennel steel frame.
Yeah.
And I saw one. I was like, okay, I got you. So I took gas and dumped it down the pipe, right? So the gas went in the top. I lit it from the bottom. Wow!
Don made a hornet nest motor.
It was
Motor.
like awesome. It just blew it out. I'm like, oh my God, that was so cool. So I did it again.
Did you
Same
get more than
thing.
one nest?
Yeah, there was. It was in a couple pipes. I'm like,
Oh,
watch this stuff. Yeah, watch this. It's gonna be good. And this.
Yeah. That'll wreck their whole day. That'll wreck their plans to expand the nest. Yeah, unfortunately, where mine is, I can't really dump gas because I'd burn down my house. That wouldn't be good. That wouldn't be good. Let's continue here. This is the next article. I don't know if this one really is news. I think that always music has been considered a powerful medium
Right.
for memories and stuff. But anyway, let's get to it. This is song triggers amnesiacs' lost memories. It says, a man who had forgotten 10 years of his life suddenly experienced flashbacks after hearing a specific song.
Take on.
When 19-year-old Thomas Leeds crossed the road in central London one day in the early 2000s, a taxi suddenly careened into him, sending him flying headfirst into the ground.
Wow.
The scene of the accident was dire, with the vehicle exhibiting extensive signs of damage. I don't know why we're focusing on the vehicle here, but Incredibly, however, Thomas himself seemed to have escaped with only a minor head injury. He was even discharged from the hospital shortly afterwards, which, as it turns out, was a mistake. After complaining of headaches and nausea, he returned to the hospital for a scan where it was found that he had developed a clot that, if left untreated, would have killed him within 24 hours.
Wow.
After undergoing surgery, he awoke to find that he couldn't remember anything. When his family members arrived to see him, he couldn't recall who they were. Upon returning home, he didn't even recognize the house he had lived in his entire life. This extensive memory loss would go on to plague him for over 10 years, until out of the blue, he heard a song, the Waterboys' 1980 hit The Hole of the Moon, which triggered something in his head, causing many of his lost memories to come flooding back in a series of flashbacks.
Wow.
It just needs little memory chemicals floating around to trigger a slightly bigger picture, said neurologist Dr. Colin Scheif. That causes a cascade that he translated into a vision. Today, Thomas still has trouble remembering some things, but his memory is no longer the blank slate that it once was. It's been 18 years now, and I am this person, he said. It's lovely knowing a little bit of who I was before, but I've had such a life now, just knowing that I've got something real from before, from the beginning of my story, really helps me face the future.
Yeah, cool.
That's got to be bizarre, right?
Right.
I mean, not having any clue who you are,
Yeah.
not having any clue who anybody is. And sometimes that sounds like a good thing, but depends on what kind of life you got cooking. But I know there's some people in my past I just as soon not remember. But yeah, it's one of those things.
Right.
Wow.
Well, and Happy Girl says they played music through earbuds for a dementia patient, and he started smiling and singing. Yeah, because it was
sure.
music from his era, and yeah, I've seen that. But dementia patients, amnesiacs apparently, and Alzheimer's, it's all worked to bring a spark of life back to
Right.
them, which is really, really cool. So yeah, really cool stuff.
Makes you wonder how that works, though. Is it that music causes the memory to come from a different place in your brain,
Right.
and then it can access the things that otherwise aren't accessible? I don't
Right.
know.
Well, for me, put on Black Sabbath or Jethro Tull and I'll light up.
Finished with my woman.
Because she could not help me with my mind.
Yeah.
Right.
There you go, folks. That's the Paranormal Portal.
Karaoke portal style.
There you go. All right, so here's the next one from unexplained-mysteries.com. And this is female ghost photographed at Bodmin Jail.
Wow.
And there's a picture.
Conjugal visit.
I don't know who she's visiting. The image of an allegedly agitated apparition has been caught on camera at the notoriously haunted prison.
Wow.
And this is the image, folks. As you can see on your screen, I'm hoping you're seeing it on your screen. I guess I should put up.
Helen Bottom Car.
Yep, there it is. Yep, you can see it. That's the apparition right there.
Wow.
That looks very much there. Wow. And it's got the same pixelization as the rest of the image.
Yeah,
So
it looks like it's actually in the picture.
yeah, it does. The image, notoriously haunted prison, but built in 1779 before closing down in 1927, Bodmin Jail can be found nestled at the edge of Bodmin Moor in Cornwall, England, where it has since been turned into a hotel, museum, and gift shop. Wow, way to make use of that real estate.
Don't use those mirrors. Wow.
Over the years, its haunted reputation has also attracted the attention of numerous ghost hunting shows, paranormal investigators, and others keen to experience something unexplained.
Wow.
Most recently, the jail's paranormal manager, Kirsten Honey, has captured the image of what she believes to be the female apparition lurking within its walls.
The jail's paranormal manager. Oh, no.
Was the manager paranormal, or what's going on?
That's what I was wondering, but
That's a weird sentence. The picture was taken during our last lockdown about 4 months ago in the Naval Wing, which is part of our attraction and now open to the public, she said. I think it's an old woman described as the hag often seen within the walls of Bodmin Jail. She doesn't reside in one spot. She wanders through the corridors. Other people have witnessed her and feel fear or unsafe with her. She resonates a very uncomfortable feeling. She is extremely agitated and grumpy and would be the kind of woman to avoid. Footage from a separate paranormal investigation at the jail can be viewed below. Well, we're not going to show that because I don't want to,
Right.
stomp on somebody's copyrights and stuff. But that's a good picture. I mean, I would love to see before and afters, like 3. Whenever you're paranormal investigating, folks, take a series of pictures.
Right.
Don't just take a picture.
Right.
Because if something does pop up in a frame, you want to have comparisons on either side
Before
of it.
and after,
Yeah, so this is a one-off. It's, at first blush, it looks like it might be genuine, but without something to compare it to, it's just another, blob in the background of a picture. Could be a curtain for all we know. I mean, literally, I'm sure it's not, but you know what I'm saying. So it doesn't stand up to scrutiny without something to compare it. But
So I was talking with this girl online one time, long ago. It was like Yahoo Chat or something like that. It was like 25 years ago. And she took a picture, right, of herself, and you could see the bunching of the curtains in the back. How they bunch up at the top. Arrow darts, whatever.
Yeah.
Anyhow, I looked at it and went, "Hey, what's that?" Looked like a devil's head in the curtain. She got so whacked out, she went and pulled the curtain down. I was like, oh, well, sorry.
The power of Christ compels you. She's
Settle
yanking
down,
the
Tony.
curtains down. That's just Tony with his furnace.
Wow.
Oh, that's funny.
Oh, it was crazy. I was like, wow.
That's creepy. I mean, that is creepy. I don't know. I mean, that's probably pareidolia, but still.
Maybe.
That's pretty creepy stuff.
It might have been para something.
Well, there you have it, folks. This has been
A production?
a production of the Paranormal Portal News. Thank
There
you.
you go.
Thanks for filling in my words, Don.
All right.
All right, back to our regularly scheduled program, folks. We are going to dive into some more paranormal fun. The phone lines are open if you want to call in. The number to the Paranormal Portal, of course, is 720-923-0500. Again, 720-923-0500. 720-923-0500. Oh, you didn't copy that one.
0500.
Thank you. All right. So that's how you get in touch with us if you want to come on the show and tell us about your own paranormal experience.
Oh, yeah.
We'd love to hear from you. We love when you guys are part of the talk. A part of the experience. Where the hell did my chat go? I can't see my chat. Don, why don't you do some shout outs, brother?
Shout outs, yeah.
Let's see who's here. If you want to be shouted out, you got to be talking in chat.
Shout it out.
Shout it.
Andrew's here. Bobby Simpson. Hi, Bobby. That's a new name. Nice to see you. Digger Dog's here. Ethan. Happy Girls here. Jenny. Kirsten. Lunatic Fringe. Maggie from Australia is here. Maggie said she would have been here, but it's a long drive from Australia.
I know. That would be a tough one
Absolutely.
to drive.
Mr. Paranormal Portal. Red Cap Goblin, who is deathly afraid of hornets, apparently. Sandra Piper. Slowpoke. Tacos here. Let's see who just popped in. Titan, Trish. I think Mom was here. Say hi to Mom, Brent.
Hi, Mom. Hi to everybody, of course. I'm
Ghost
glad you guys are here.
Magnet. Come on. Karen. Hi, Karen. Yes, Karen. Did I say happy girl? I did. And one more. Rachel gets it right. There you go. And one more. Anybody else? Anybody else that I might see? Herman. All right, we're done with shout outs tonight. Nice to see y'all. Yeah, that's awesome. Nice to see you guys. Always great to have you here. Jim Gwynn's here. Let's give a shout out to her. Taco. Why was I thinking about Taco the other day? Oh, because I had my
You had your leather band on.
Yeah, I had my cuff on all weekend. Yeah,
He did. He was sporting your leather band, brother.
that's right.
Yeah, he got one. I didn't get one.
You got that.
I know. I got this.
That's freaking awesome.
There's no doubt. Yeah. All right, folks. Speaking of taco, we're gonna go.
No, that's not to say that I don't like. No, my Taco. It's awesome. Thank you for the cuff. It's doing great. No problems.
Yeah, he's been sporting it every chance he gets. He said, "Good, I saw it."
Oh, excellent.
And then he gave you a smiley winky face.
A smiley winky face.
Yep. So that's a good sign. All right, got to keep keep Taco producing. He makes some really cool stuff. And ladies and gentlemen, he made this sign back here.
Yes.
The Paranormal Portal sign, and that is steel.
That's 8 pounds.
It's
8 pounds.
8 pounds of steel hanging on my wall, illuminated, and it's kind of the center point of my studio, other than Don and I, of course. But all right, let's get to this because this is all about Taco. Here is on his YouTube page.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he sent us a video of a UFO. He believes UFO caught on camera, 2021, 6:33 p.m., June 21st.
That was Sunday.
Yeah, it was. Looks like it's right there, dead center in the frame. But let me blow it up here so it's as big as we can make it. And it's I don't know. It looks like it might be something. Let's see. All right, there you go, folks. This is from Taco. Let's talk about it. Let's taco about it. We both. This mental umbilical cord that we have done is really weird.
That's like 3 or 4 times already today.
I know. All right, let's check this out. This is a video sent in by Taco. Oh, yeah. There it is. This is my mouse moving around, just in case. That's not a UFO. But this very well may be. That's really weird. Stationary up there. It isn't. No, it's not. Is the clouds moving or is the thing moving?
Well, clouds usually move with wind, so.
Thank you, Don.
Smart.
That was a bird. Oh, I can hear the little one singing. That's sweet.
Redcap says that's the Amazon Prime taco delivery drone.
Oh, I love that song. That's sweet. That's really cool. I mean, you think you caught something there, brother.
Did it just like, oh.
No, I think it's his focus.
Thought it just separated.
No, it's... What was that, though? That was kind of a weird glitch. Let me just back it up a little bit here. No. Wait, let me go back a little further. That was weird. Did you see that?
Did it like separate?
There's like a pixelization that occurs right about there. Yeah, see that? See it around that? That's kind of strange. Hold on.
Huh.
I'll try to pause when it's happening and back through it frame by frame. There.
Yeah.
That's where it starts.
Like went around it.
Okay, watch this, ladies and gentlemen. If you look at the anomaly, and I can't make it any bigger than that. I'm going frame by frame. Maybe if I keep going, I think it happens a couple times.
Well, are you going backwards or forwards?
I was going forward because I thought it does it 2 times. I'm going back. Bear with us, ladies and gentlemen. This is the first time I'm seeing this too. It has kind of, there. Just around right here, here, and here.
Yeah.
There's something that kind of almost forms there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right. It does. Yeah, there's a couple dots up there, like 4 or 5 dots. There you go. There you go.
See that glitch there? That's kind of a glitchy part. Now, it could just be the refresh, but look at that, back forth. Frame to frame, right there. Something really interesting is happening in this space right here on the screen, and it happens as this comes through it. Let's do this again. That's forward. This is back. I'm going to go back 2 frames.
You said it was sitting still the entire time.
Okay, so this is... Okay, what we're seeing as motion is the clouds.
Right.
So right there it jumps in. There's back out. Go back into that weird...
Yeah. There it is.
Yep.
Huh.
At the 59-second mark, there's like a weird visual anomaly around this that I find very interesting. Now, could it be some function of a very wispy cloud coming over it and creating a distortion on the sensor of the camera? It could be, but it's only in that spot. Let's back up a little more. So now it's a pristine white little ball. What is this? Look at that.
Oh, yeah.
What's this?
Yeah.
Frame by frame.
Wow.
Something else is shooting through this guy here too. Did you see that, Taco? It's frame by frame. I'm moving with my mouse pointing at it. And it comes through in a matter of, let's see, let's count the frames. I can't track it beyond.
Nice job, Sandra.
1, 2, 3,
Wow.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 gone. 21 frames from here to here. And that's like I don't know what its filming rate is, but that's 58 seconds.
Was this on your phone, Taco?
So I'm going backwards. So it comes into frame, and it takes literally a second to go from up here to here. That's a lot of space for 1 second. Let's do it again. Let's go back. 1, 2. Here it comes. 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's see. We're at the 58-second mark still, where we started. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, and it's in the clouds there. And now it's at the 57. Oh, I must be going backwards. Okay.
Oh, geez, he's got a Samsung Galaxy S21.
Okay.
So it's like new.
It's new, and that's probably at least 30 frames a second,
mine's
right?
an A10.
Is that a 30 frame a second video?
Probably, yeah.
Okay.
29 point something, yeah.
I mean, either way, that's literally
That's
1
quick.
second. 1 second of time it's covering from here to here.
Redcap Goblin says it's a Chinese drone dropping murder hornets larvae.
I mean, seriously, though, folks, you're witnessing this firsthand. This is something that we're just seeing, 57, 58. Here goes that little white dot. So this is cool, but this is actually cooler.
Right.
Did Taco say that he noticed this or no?
No, he didn't see it.
Yeah. So it's shooting up through the frame and manages to clear at least half of this frame in 1 second.
Yeah, Titan, it's moving, yeah. It's
Yep.
covering some distance.
And that's a lot of space because it's not something right by the lens. That's something at least a distance from the camera. I can't be sure how far away it is, but it's something.
Oh, he said he did see it.
Oh, you did?
Oh.
Okay. Yeah, there it's gone.
Huh.
So let's look at that in real time. Let's go back to the 57 mark, and let's go to 56 and see what that looks like in real time. Boom.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
Yeah, that just
flashed right
flew
through
right through. Did you see that?
there. Yep.
That's really remarkable. 57. I'll go back again and look at it. And then we'll watch the rest of it, but that's really cool. Boom. Shoom. There it goes.
Yep.
So whatever it was cleared that frame in 1 second, at least half the frame. So, oh,
I know, honey, but there's something weird up there.
Yes.
what
I don't
a,
know.
oh, what a doll.
It's just a white dot. It's not moving.
So the white, that's the cloud motion then that we're seeing,
He
folks.
said he changed it to 60 FPS.
Oh, 60 frames per second. Well, I mean, just on the YouTube video, it's 1 second for it to clear from half the frame
There it
all the
is.
way out. Yeah. So this is interesting. It could just be the sun catching a satellite. It could be a UFO. I don't know. The thing that I'm most interested in is the thing that shot through the frame. To me, that's way more anomalous. This is anomalous as well, but it is stationary. It's not moving,
Just
so
stuck there.
I don't know what it could
It's
be.
not moving. Clouds are moving.
That's really something, though. Yeah, brother, you caught something. You caught something pretty cool there, brother. I like that a lot. I think that could very well be incredibly
If you've never
legitimate.
Right.
So let's back over to
Wow.
here. Nice job, Taco.
Pretty cool.
Good eye, brother. Keep watching those skies. Keep watching.
You know, a friend, a coworker, somebody I work with, showed me a picture. She took a picture of she said she couldn't see anything very well, but there was a picture of a white dot, and she zoomed in on it a couple times. And when she was zooming in, she noticed that below the white dot there was a black dot, and the black dot, gone in the next frame because she just sat out there, click, on her phone.
Oh, sure.
So she got like action photos of it, and it was like click, gone. The black spot. The white spot was still there.
No, that's really cool, brother. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. I think you got a great one. I think that's really a good
Something
capture.
interesting.
That's a really good capture. And thanks for sending it in, man. That's really cool. We appreciate that the most. But anyway, there you go. That's from our very ladies and gentlemen. Sending it right in here to the Paranormal Portal. I hope you guys like that.
Oh, goodness.
What kind of response did we get on that? Oh, there we go. Did we have a lag spike there or something? No.
Just me.
Just you. Don's the human lag spike, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Well, let's move on to more of this paranormal goodness. What time is it? Okay, 7. Oh, God, it's almost 8 already.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's
Nice.
gone fast.
Wow.
All right. We're going to revisit an article that we've been working through, and this is coming from factandate.com. And this is Unsettling Experiences. And it was written by Stephen Y., or at least it was aggregated by Stephen Y. I think he aggregated these from Reddit. But at any rate, we're going to go through them now. And we're on number 21. And number 21, ladies and gentlemen, is titled International House of Panic.
IHOP.
Yeah, IHOP. Yeah, it is. My parents were on a small island in Florida on vacation, and there were not many places to eat. Well, they drove around and randomly found a restaurant, and they said there weren't many cars in the parking lot, which made what they saw inside even more weird. They walk into the doors and see a very full restaurant of people. Everyone stops, stares, and smiles at them. Wow. Everyone.
Wow.
Well, they go back to then they go back to what seemed like scripted conversation while still looking at my parents. The hostess comes up to them and smiled and simply said, "Sorry, everything's full. You should go now."
Ooh.
The phrase my mom and dad kept using was, "They were like actors." Well, my parents left as instructed. They couldn't stop talking about what happened the next day and decided to go back and see it again. Well, they drove all over the small island and never found the restaurant. My parents hate telling this story and hate when I ask about it. Visible goosebumps appear on their arms immediately at the mention of it.
Wow.
See, now things like that, I wonder, could they be like cloaked ships? Like cloaked alien craft?
Like they came down for lunch?
No, like it wasn't a restaurant at all, but they just appeared like a restaurant because, could they implant things in your head? Because
Right.
everybody, that has abductions talks about how they're in their heads and talking telepathically. So what if they could introduce telepathic images? Maybe, but that's a really weird story. Very bizarre. The next one is called Just Twist. I used to live in a renovated little section of a warehouse converted into a 3-room apartment. 2 large storage sections were still used for storage, but I had my cozy little spot. This was also directly located on a state highway with large gravel patch in front that I got used to people thinking they could park whenever they wanted. Well, this behavior was quite a bit weird at first, but after the umpteenth time of telling people to get off of private property, one simply learns to just let it go. Mm-hmm. This apartment was just outside the city limits by a couple of miles, so I was somewhat isolated and surrounded only by the highway and trees in all directions. Cut to one evening around 2 a.m. I am sitting in my living room, lights off, watching a movie on my television. Along the wall to my right-hand side is my front door and 3 large windows that cover most of the wall. The doorknob starts moving, slowly at first, like little test twists, and then it starts getting turned far more aggressively. Someone was not being subtle about trying to get in. I'm freaking out, not really sure what to do, but still bolt upright, grab something to potentially swing at somebody because if they really wanted in, they could easily break one of the multiple huge windows. The knob turning finally subsides, and I'm left to deal with a borderline heart attack and utterly sleepless night. Never, ever forget to lock your doors, folks. Every little deterrent counts. And that was by Han Water. Yeah, I think I habitually lock my doors. Even if we're home, it's like, nope, they're locked. I had someone try to walk into my house one time, and that's a creepy feeling. It's like, really? You were just going to walk into my home? That was when I was really glad I had a big German Shepherd that had a nasty bark. And that guy turned just about pale. He went pale, and I had people trying to break into my garage one time. And my dog, again, chased them away. So I'm a big fan of German Shepherds. I mean, any dog is good, of course, because they make noise. But a big one with huge teeth and bad attitude, that'll change someone's mind in a hurry.
My dog wouldn't bark. She'd just piddle all over the floor. Gosh. It's like, gee, I'm so glad you're happy.
Oh, Don, only you would get a dog like that.
I know. What the hell? My older dogs, the ones that I recently put down, they would have just looked up and said, "Hey, make me a sandwich, and you can do whatever you want."
Yeah, just pet me.
Just sandwich.
Just pet me on the way by. Grab the TV, but pet me on the way by. The next one is 23. Don't wake the baby. And that's a rule every parent can appreciate. This morning I wrecked my car. It was such a silly way to wreck, but it happened. I started up a hill and there was a truck and trailer turning up a hill in front of me. And it was a good few car lengths behind him, but I still slowed down because he was moving slowly. He quickly made the turn and I sped up, and then he stopped suddenly, leaving the trailer sitting out in the road.
Huh? Okay.
I slammed on my brakes and tried to stop, but still ended up sliding into him. The next couple of seconds were a bit blurry, but I remember seeing in front of my car slam into the Mansfield bar on the back of the trailer. It came through my windshield. The whole crash only lasted a few seconds. Yeah, generally they're real quick.
Yeah.
But I know my car had gone under the end of the trailer, jarring the bar loose. I saw it swing into my windshield, hitting me in the face, and the next thing I remember is feeling the metal slam into my face and tasting blood.
Wow.
My face hurt badly, and my 2-year-old was screaming in the back seat. My head was hurting worse than any pain I'd ever felt, but I had to make sure he was okay. I laid my seat back enough to twist around and look at him. Oh, no, kid would be freaked out. He was safely buckled into his car seat and had no signs of injury. He was obviously just scared, as he had been sleeping just a few minutes prior to this. When he saw my face, he screamed louder and started crying even more. He was screaming, "Mommy, Mommy," through sobs. He was crying so hard he was going silent between breaths. Oh, poor kid. The last thing I remember is hearing the guy I hit calling an ambulance. As I drifted off, I could hear my baby screaming, but I didn't have the strength to get him. The next thing I know, I'm waking up in a panic and my eyes pop open, and I'm hitting the trailer again, but this time it was different. The trailer twisted up and swung in the opposite direction, throwing a riding lawnmower off into a ditch.
Huh.
When the car was still, I quickly turned around and my 2-year-old was still asleep in the back seat. I was so confused and scared. My first thought was that I had died, and I was stuck in a loop crashing into this trailer. I know how silly that sounds, but that was the first conclusion my mind gathered. I sat there dumbfounded for what seemed like forever until I heard the guy I hit telling me to please say something or he's calling 911. I turned to him and said I was fine. There wasn't a scratch on me, and my 2-year-old was sleeping peacefully in the back seat. This time, several things were different. Instead of hitting him directly with the front center of my car, I only hit him on the driver's side, and I wasn't injured at all, not a single scratch. Previously, my face had been hit, and I felt pains in different parts of my body. There were vehicles stopped behind me, and things continued as they normally would in a wreck. Law enforcement was called, and they started cleaning up the accident. The lady in the car behind me finally got out and came to ask if my little guy and I wanted to sit in her car until it was all done. I declined, and she asked if I was sure I was okay. What she said next made my blood run cold. She said she just knew I'd be hurt because she saw the trailer come through my windshield, as in she'd seen the crash the way it happened the first time.
Huh.
When she looked at the front of my car, she saw my windshield still intact, and she too was dumbfounded. I don't know if this was a glitch, a divine intervention, or just a coincidence. Did my mind simply fill in the blanks, and she perceived the accident differently than what actually happened? I don't know, but I'm so very thankful my baby and I are both unharmed.
Yeah, no doubt.
Wow. How would that be, huh?
Yeah.
That was by Dovakin 989. Well, I'm glad it worked out that way in the end. That's terrifying. Guess who's coming to dinner is number 24.
Sasquatch.
Don. We're in a squatch loop after the last weekend. and we, who can blame us? Last night I was on the phone with my mom, and she told me to come over for dinner. Everything was going great, and then suddenly she comes out with, Janet is going to be there. And I was like, very funny, Mom, great one. But in my head I was thinking, that's really not funny. Why would you say something like that? And then my mom keeps going on with this, you haven't seen her in forever. It'll be nice, etc. Here's the thing.
Oh.
Janet died last year. I have a vivid memory of it. I did not attend the funeral, but I remember everyone talking about it and making a scene out of it because she passed on so young. She had cancer, and I remember her husband coming to visit and being very depressed. I never saw her body or anything, but I'm 1,000% certain this woman is gone, and I remember many family members talking about it. I never saw the body or visited her grave, and I wasn't that close with her, so I never had much grief over it. But I have very vivid memories of her passing on, my relatives being depressed over it. I was really weirded out by my mom on the phone, and finally I came out and said, Janet's dead. What are you talking about? And my mom just kept talking like it was just ridiculous or like I was kidding around. She jokingly said, well, she's back or something like that. I asked my dad later on, and he looked at me like I was insane. I also couldn't find the obituary online, and I never looked for it to begin with, and lo and behold, Janet comes to dinner. I remember getting a really creepy feeling when I walked in and saw her sitting there, but everyone was acting perfectly normal. Nothing extraordinary happened, but we sat around talking for a long time. The eerie part is that I was sitting around having dinner with the same people I remember talking about Janet passing with. Some of my aunts were there, and I distinctly remember last year one of them crying over it and being in the same spot. The memories didn't clear up once I saw her, and I still know what I saw and heard a year ago. It's just very bizarre.
Wow.
So is that like a weird kind of Mandela thing? Like maybe she got sucked into a different version of reality?
Well, a dimension slash. Bloop.
What?
A dimensional shift.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like she shifted into a different dimension. A much happier version, mind you.
Well, I don't know. Maybe not for her.
Well, I mean, she's got these memories, but I mean,
Well, yeah, I guess.
someone's alive that
Still be
was.
creepy.
I can't imagine what that would be. The triangular spot on my are disappeared as well. Are you talking about the video, Taco, when you made that statement? It sounds like it. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of weirdness in that video, but it's a good capture, brother. All right, there you go. That was submitted by Sarnath. I don't know, Sarnath. I read it backwards just to see if it made sense that way either. Neither way makes sense to me.
Sounds like something out of a Galaxy Quest.
Oh, yeah, kind of does. All right, Kentucky Fried Creepy. Coming up next, number 25. This happened around 8 years back. My 2 teenage male cousins were staying over at our house for the weekend during the summer break. So instead of going out for a drive, my mom suggested we walk to a KFC in our neighborhood. It was about an hour and a half walk. Later, as we were walking home, we started going through alleyways between houses as a shortcut instead of the main street route. As we were passing the last alleyway shortcut before continuing back on the main road, I felt a weird sensation, like a faint magnetic pulse wave through me. My mom and cousins later confirmed the same sensation at the same spot. We emerged on the main road, and it was completely silent. It was like the world was put on mute, and everything seemed very familiar but quite weird at the same time. The road's houses looked way older. They had cracks in them. The paint was almost completely faded away or chipped. To our left was a roundabout, which now was completely gone, and there were freakishly tall trees in its place. To our right was the road that we had to take to get back to the house, and we could see the small grocery store we passed on our way to KFC. Yet the neon lights were much brighter and in different colors. We stood there bewildered by it all. My mom lived in this area before I was born, and we basically navigate blindfolded through, and it's usually alive with people and stray cats 24/7. I thought we can go back and retrace our steps, but when we looked back at the alleyway, that we came from, it was pitch black darkness. And it was just emitting creepiness. My mom said to just keep walking back to the house, and we walked for what felt like 30 minutes. It was like we were walking on a treadmill, just staring at a large image. And we finally started to get closer. I glanced at my watch again, and it was 9:32 p.m. 2 minutes only. Even on normal days, that distance would take at least 5 minutes if you were walking really fast. We're joking around to light... Excuse me, hold on. Sorry. Gotta get a drink.
Sorry.
Yeah, we're not... That's not how we're going to entertain. So we're joking around to lighten up the mood, and we're all obviously freaking out, but trying to maintain our cool. We made it down 2 roads and finally reached the house. I had quite a few pet cats, and they usually run up to us, but when we got back to the house, this time only a few of them were around, and they kept a huge distance away from us, while standing still and staring at us like they'd seen a ghost. I remember going to my room and sitting on my bed, looking out my window, trying to make sense of what happened, but I just couldn't shake the creepy feeling. The world felt terrible. Not a single sound, not even a breeze. The trees were like rocks, and everything had an eerie feeling to it. I looked at my clock again, and it was around 9:45 p.m., which again is impossible for the distance we covered. I forced myself to sleep that night, and when I woke up in the morning, everything was back to normal. We went out for a drive to backtrack our steps, and it was back to normal. Everything was clean and new. I can't explain it. That was by Sleepy Kitten 85. KFC. Maybe it was the chicken. They went to chicken hell.
Kentucky Fried Cabenzis.
Yeah, you never know. I don't know. That's creepy. I don't know what to make of that. I mean, those kind of stories are really interesting, but they're also very unusual. Creepy. I mean, what would you do?
Creepy.
What would you guys do if you were sucked into a weird situation, like you're in a familiar place, but it's not at all familiar? What do?
It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood.
Don, you just skip around and sing?
Why not?
Why not?
What else can you do?
You know what I would do, and it's something that's come up in several stories that we've covered on the show, but I think the thing you do is once you realize something's screwed up, quick turn around and backtrack, and it should be just, in many stories, it's like literally a few steps and everything's back to normal. Mm-hmm. But at least I would try that. It's like, did I just walk through something? Something happened and this isn't right. So I don't know. I think that's the only option you got is just try to or at least step backwards for a couple steps, see if it gets back to normal, and then walk a different way home. If you get back to normal, that is. I don't know. That's really creepy stuff. All right, number 26, just a coincidence.
What?
Right? I was driving down the highway and happened to look into my right, and I saw a woman with a bun staring at me with a terrified expression from a car next to me. This one sounds familiar. I think we've covered this before.
With a bun? Was she eating it? Or like a hair
No,
bun?
a hair bun.
A hair bun. Messy.
Yeah. It's not just some random woman holding a bun. Yeah, this is not the look you want to see.
Settle down, Princess Leia.
Nerf herder. All right. So before I really figured out how to react, the car pulled off at the next exit. About half an hour later, a different car with a different driver pulls alongside me with the same woman in the passenger seat.
Yeah, I remember this one.
Yeah, I do too. That's still a creepy story, though. But then I planned to pull onto the next service station to report it. The car disappeared before I could get any details, and I thought there was no point calling the authorities with no details. I mean, what are you going to tell them? Hey, there's a strange woman in 2 different cars. Yeah, they're going to call you an ambulance. It's time for your meds, Lucy.
They're coming to take me away.
So I carried on driving. Literally about 4 hours later, yet another car pulled alongside of me with the same woman, except this time I took one look at her and went white as a sheet. She appeared to be screaming at me through the window. Well, I pulled over and called the authorities. Apparently, they had received 3 other calls about the same woman and a car in the same area in the last few minutes. I never heard anything more about it, but I didn't see her again. And although I kept an eye on the news, I didn't see anything about it. Hopefully, It was just a giant coincidence.
Coincidence? That's not a coincidence.
It's a coinky dink.
Queekity.
Who knows? It says, who knows? And it's by Screw Lucy.
Screw Lucy.
That's funny. I just said Lucy.
Yeah. Huh.
Well, go figure. That's kind of creepy. That's a little creepy in itself. But anyway, Aladdin's Lamp is next. My last semester at college, I was nearly killed by a football player for walking where he was trying to drive.
Oh.
While unconscious on the ground, I lived a different life. I met a wonderful young lady, and she made my heart skip and my face red. I pursued her for months and dispatched a few jerk boyfriends before I finally won her over. After 2 years, we got married, and almost immediately she bore me a daughter. I had a great job, and my wife didn't have to work outside of the house. And when my daughter was 2, my wife gave birth to our second child, my son. My son was the joy of my life, and I would walk into his room every morning before I left for work and doted on him and my daughter. One day while sitting on the couch, I noticed the perspective of the lamp was odd, like inverted. It was still in 3D, but just wrong. Well, I was transfixed. I couldn't look away from it. I stayed up all night staring at it, and the next morning, I didn't go to work. Something was just not right about that lamp. I stopped eating. I left the couch only to use the bathroom, and at first, but soon I stopped that too, as I wasn't eating or drinking. I stared at the lamp for 3 days before my wife got really worried. She had someone come and try to talk to me. By this time, my cognizance was breaking up and my wife was freaking out. She took the kids to her mother's house just before I had an epiphany. The lamp is not real. The house is not real. My wife, my kids, none of that is real. The last 10 years of my life are not real.
Sounds like a Talking Heads song.
The lamp started to grow wider and deeper. It was still inverted, and it took up my entire perspective. All I could see was red. I heard voices, screams of all kinds, of weird noises, and I became aware of pain, a metric ton of pain. The first words I said were, "I'm missing teeth." And then I opened my eyes. I was laying on my back on the sidewalk surrounded by people who I didn't know. Lots were freaking out. I was completely confused. At some point, an officer scooped me up, dragged and walked me across the sidewalk and grass, and threw me face down in the back of his car. I was still confused. I was taken to the hospital by the officer, who seemed he didn't wait for an ambulance to arrive, and given CT scans and whatnot. I went through about 3 years of horrid depression. I was grieving the loss of my wife and children, and dealing with the knowledge that they had never existed. I was scared that I was going insane as I would cry myself to sleep, hoping I would see her in my dreams. I never have. But sometimes I see my son, usually just a glimpse out of my peripheral vision. He is perpetually 5 years old, and I can never hear what he says.
Wow.
Wow, how's that for altered states?
Yep.
Oof. That would be that would be hell. You had one version of your life where you're happy, even though it wasn't real. It was like,
And it was so powerful that he was crying about it.
yeah, no kidding.
Wow.
Ugh, that's terrible. Number 28, Gray's abnormality. I work at a hospital as an RRT, registered respiratory therapist. I knew I could get through that. And the following thing happened only a few hours ago. I was running 3 floors with 13 patients under my direct care. 6 of them I had treated for a few days, and I know them in terms of we have talked while I treat them. And I'm considered a kind person by most patients, so... Huh?
Just most patients.
Yeah. So they talk to me and tell me about their lives and about the family, etc. There's this one particular lady, 73 years old, sadly a terminal patient. I've been treating her for 4 days now, so she knows me well enough to not confuse me with anyone else. As I stated, we've talked before and even joke around. Very nice lady. At around 1:30 a.m., I was headed to her room to provide treatment. But as I was walking through the hallway, a code came in, and I had to turn around and instead run all the way to the ER to deal with the code the ambulance was bringing in. I was with that coding patient for a good 25 minutes, with all the nurses and doctor trying to save his life. Unfortunately, we couldn't help him. After that, I continued my normal rounds, and my next stop was obviously the lady I was going to treat prior to the code's arrival. So I went to her room, and she saw me and asked, "What happened? Did you forget something?" I thought nothing of it and told her it was time for her treatment, to which she replied, "Son, but you already gave me the treatment only a few minutes ago."
Wow.
I said, "Ma'am, I have not. Did someone come in and give you treatment?" This should not have happened anyway, as I had with me the treatment chart. She said, "You gave me the treatment only a few minutes ago. You came in like you always do, asked me how I felt, and we talked about adjusting my dose because it's making my heart race like a horse, and you said that you would look into it." Mind you, she was not alone. Her granddaughter was there too, and she also said that I had been there only a few minutes ago. After trying to process what she said to me for a few seconds, I asked, "Ma'am, are you sure someone came in here and treated you?" To which she replied, "Not someone. You. You are the only one that treats me at night. You and that crazy nurse out there."
Ooh.
I was confused and told her to hang on a minute, so I went outside and went to the nurse's desk where the patient records are kept to see if anyone had written on it looking for any treatment anyone else had given her, but there was none written. I went back into the room and said that I still had to give her treatment. Obviously I had to, or I could have lost my job for that. Anyway, as I'm treating her, I'm asking her granddaughter about it, and she also is 100% certain that it was me, and that I gave her her treatment, and that we indeed talked about adjusting her dose. Now I'm here thinking and asking myself, what in the heck? I was in the ER, and there are several witnesses I was there for a good 25 minutes. But the patient and her relative claim that I was in the room with them during that time. There are no records of any treatment on the main patient records, and we RTs carry around a little chart with our personal patients for the shift, and no one else but me had it. So what happened here? I asked the nurse outside of the desk if she saw anyone going in, to which she replied, "Other than you, no one." I asked again, "Are you sure you didn't see anyone going in?" "Well, no, just you. You went in. We're in there for a few minutes, came back out, walked right past me, and went down the stairs and just came back." So the nurse is saying that I indeed went into the room and then left and now came back, but it wasn't me. I was in the ER. After all this happened, I talked to the security guard and asked him to please check the security footage and let me know if someone went in. What he found was blood chilling. About an hour later, I came back and he said, yes, someone went in. Looked physically just like me, wearing the same uniform, but he couldn't make out the face, as I have actually faced the camera, so the footage never caught my eye, or caught my face. As I have never actually faced the camera, so the footage never actually caught my face. So now we have footage of me walking into the room, and brace yourself, footage of me in the ER at the same time.
Wow.
That was by Eric Strife. That's very crazy. Now, I guess hospitals, right? We've talked about that many times on the show. Hospitals are really bizarre places, ladies and gentlemen. Lots of weird energies.
True enough. You know, that is weird, though. You know, two places at once by location. That'd be kind of scary in a lot of ways.
Or is it an angelic doppelganger or something?
Yeah, someone taking care of her because he got called away or the person got called away.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting.
Yep, exactly. All right, looks like my chat had stopped there, so I'm just catching up. What are we doing for time? Almost 8:30. Wow. I know I want to spend some time doing Bigfoot reports from different states, so that's so weird. Yeah, Maggie M, that is so weird. I'm just looking at the chat quick because I move it over to my other screen so now I can see it. Excuse me. Oh.
Talk. I can't talk. You're coughing. So, but anyhow, you know, I don't think I know what to do in that situation if they saw me actually walking into the ER and into that room. That's kind of freaky in and of itself. Was it a mimic? Possibly a doppelganger?
Possibly.
Possibly, as Brent said, an angel or an angelic watcher.
Well, I mean, it did give the therapy like he normally does, so I don't know. Maybe it was a tulpa created by the guy just because he was
Worried about the lady, yeah. Or
right. He
thinking
was
about
concerned
her.
about
Yeah.
her, that she was terminal and I don't know, needed her treatments, I guess. But yeah. Or is it a spiritual visitor, just one of the people that's going to help her transition?
Oh, good point. Yeah. Oh.
I mean, a lot of people, not a lot of people, but it does come up that some terminal patients see people visit them. Sometimes it's loved ones that have passed on. I was just talking to your uncle. What? He's been gone. Oh, yeah, he was here. I don't know. Anything's possible, but here's another one, number 29. And then, I don't know, how many is there on here? Let's see. Oh, there's still plenty more. Okay. All right. Yeah. I mean, look at this. So this is the scroll bar right here. They got all this to go. Yeah. So this is probably many shows worth in this one article alone. But we'll read one more, and then I think we'll go to Bigfoot reports.
Bigfoot reports.
Thanks for the first positive Doppler. What? That's the first positive doppelganger. Doppelganger, yeah. Before only negative or neutral. Yeah. Usually they are neutral or they're just there. They're just incidental.
Right.
Sometimes they're negative though. But yeah, you don't hear about a lot of real beneficial ones going out of their way.
Yeah, no doubt.
So thanks for everything. Get that vector file soon. I really want to make a banner. Yeah, I want you to too, brother. Much love, everyone. I'm uber tired. All right, Taco Man, you have a great night. Thank you
We'll
for
see
the
you later,
video.
bud.
Thanks
Yes.
for sharing that video, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
That
And-
was really the highlight of my night.
And actually, the best part was the daughter singing, so don't worry about that.
It really was sweet. That was so adorable. Yeah, just let her sing, man. That's beautiful. Kids are just amazing. Yep. Melted my heart as I was watching that footage.
Aw.
Number 29, this takes the cake. It happened about 8 months ago. We lived in a small apartment with our 2 young children and our dog while we saved up for a down payment on a home. It was a typical Monday night around 7 p.m. We had just cleaned up after dinner. My husband was surfing the web and I was relaxing on the couch. I was reading the back of a cake mix, trying to decide if I had time to bake it, let it cool, frost it, and eat it before I needed to be in bed.
Wow, she's going to eat the whole cake.
Yeah, at least part of it. My husband was watching a video on the internet and said something funny about it, and we both laughed, and then, bam, I woke up face down in bed. My clock read 8, exactly. My alarm hadn't been turned on. I was very confused and could smell the strong scent of coconut.
Huh.
I sat up and looked at my husband, who was just waking up. He looked at me with a really confused look, and we both jumped up out of bed and ran to our kids' room, and they were in bed asleep. We went into the living room, and the second our dog saw us, she started whimpering and sort of army crawling towards us. It was such an unusual behavior for her. I've never seen her act that way before and have never since. Nothing looked out of order in our apartment, aside from one small detail. The cake mix I had been looking at that night was gone. I searched everywhere for that cake mix and never found it. Another odd detail from that day is that we were all dressed in our pajamas when we woke up, except for my youngest. He was in the jeans and t-shirt he'd been wearing the night before.
Wow.
Neither my husband nor I would have ever put him to bed like that. Neither of us have any memory of getting into our pajamas or anything else after laughing at the comment he made on the video. We were already late for work, so we both called in sick that day. We spent the day talking about it and trying to make sense of it, and at some point that day, he asked me a question that made my blood run cold. He was wondering if I had smelled the coconut when I woke up. We never found the source of that smell, and to this day, I can't look at a cake mix or smell coconut without feeling a little anxious and sick. Yeah, that's creepy stuff. What do you do? That sounds like a alien kind of thing, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does, yeah.
I mean, the whole lost time, suddenly you're one thing and then boom, you're
Right.
waking up.
Well, that's like you read a story last week or so that they were, him and his girlfriend were sitting there watching TV and, Netflix and chilling popcorn. And then they're sitting naked on the end of the bed.
Oh, right.
Remember?
Yep.
And they're like, what? So, yeah. And then there was another one very similar to that.
Yeah.
I can't remember the other one. That's the only. Why is that the only one I remember? But anyhow, it doesn't
Because they're
matter.
naked.
That was probably.
It's
yeah.
got her done.
Oh, jeez.
No, it's fine. I mean, that is a good one. It's weird, though. I don't know. That whole boom, I don't know how you cope with that. I mean, I've gotten so drunk that I blacked out before. It's kind of like that.
Yeah, that was kind of creepy.
Yeah, what?
I've done that too.
Oh,
one
okay.
Time. It was that time I took that Flexerol by accident.
Oh,
and drank all
God.
that sake.
Yeah, that'll wreck your whole day.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I don't remember.
Or end it.
It was pretty much done.
End the day, for
I
sure.
woke up in the morning. I'm like, how'd I get in bed? Why am I naked?
Why am I chewing on underwear?
Oh, God.
I don't understand. No, I don't know how do you put that back together and just get on to back to normal.
And the other one was they were backing out of the driveway.
Oh yeah, and they came back, or they were back suddenly.
Yeah.
Like they knew their whole day had gone, but they didn't go anywhere except backing out of the car was the last thing they remember. Yeah, I don't know. Strange world, ladies and gentlemen. Lots of strangeness goes on out there. And again, these are compilations of Reddit stories, so you got to take them with a grain of salt because, who knows. But I don't know. I mean, they seem like they're at least plausible. Mm-hmm. They're not unlike other stories we've covered from elsewhere, and not unlike stories I've heard people share.
Right.
Yeah, about missing time and about just suddenly I was here and then boom, I was there. I've heard people talk about, seeing things change and not really able to comprehend or understand what the hell they just saw. So it happens. And what do you do with that? I don't know. Reassemble your life the bestest you can.
The bestest you can.
The bestest you can. All right, I want to read an article here. This is a Mysterious Universe Brent Swanser article. We're going to close the night with this. And this is a brand new one from June 24th, ladies and gentlemen.
Wow, that's today. Actually, it's tomorrow.
It's tomorrow, but he's in
Japan.
So this is a tomorrow article. We're going to do a little time slip here.
Let's time slip in the portal.
We're going to time slip into tomorrow. He posted it just today on our Paranormal Portal fans page, and we'd love you guys to follow that. By the way, join Paranormal Portal fans page on Facebook, and follow the Paranormal Portal Radio Paranormal Portal Radio on Facebook, not .com. But anyway, and if you're new to the show, if you're checking us out tonight and you like what you're hearing, please subscribe. We'd love to have you stick around. Ring the bell. You'll know when we go live. But all right, let's see what's going on. This is Brent Swanser, our good friend, who's the most amazing paranormal writer out there. There's lots of amazing paranormal writers, but I'm a big fan of him.
Yeah, awesome.
He writes for mysteriousuniverse.org, ladies and gentlemen, and I can't recommend this site enough. This is an amazing site full of thousands of articles on all different Fortean topics and UFOs and ghosts and the whole shebang. They write about it there, and they have some of the best writers working on their submitting articles for that. Brent Don, we think of Fae as just being forest dwellers. Wonder if they're are in cities as well. Could explain missing time. Could. That's not a bad idea. I don't know. Here's the thing, Titan. I will say this. I'm not so convinced that the Fae are not extraterrestrial themselves. Maybe they are different completely. Maybe they are these metaphysical energy beings that can manifest, and maybe they live in a pocket dimension or different vibration than us. But maybe they're extraterrestrial as well. I don't know. I often wonder about that because there's a lot of similarities between the Fae, things that are attributed to the Fae and things that are attributed to alien abductions.
Right.
So, I don't know.
Well,
which is which.
They talk about, if you step into a fairy ring, you could be gone for, an extended period of time in a fairy realm.
Right.
But as for urban little people, Robin Moonshadow talks about urban urban and domestic type little people,
House
brownies
gnomes.
and gnomes, and
gnomes, brownies, goblins are known to be around abandoned dwellings.
Yep.
So could be, never know. All right, so this is called The Mysterious Vanishing and Ghostly Rescue of Nick Skubish, and we're going to get to that now. All right, so again, mysteriousuniverse.org. Support the site. Every site we use on this site, on this show, we really hope you guys will go support what they're doing because they're making a lot of this possible. A lot of amazing work being done out there, and it needs to be rewarded. All right, so this is Brent Swanser, June 24th, 2021, tomorrow. So you're reading tomorrow's news today, and you got it here in the portal. Just saying.
Where the portal slips time and space dimension.
Hey,
and
I tell you guys, the
every
portal's a
place.
time anomaly.
It is.
This is from June 24th, 2021. On June 6th. Uh-oh. Oof. Almost had a bad one. On June 6th, 1994, Christine?
Yeah.
Yeah. Christine Skubish and her 3-year-old son, Nick, left her parents' home near Sacramento, California, on their way to Carson City, Nevada, where she had a lot of dreams she hoped to achieve. Christine had recently earned her paralegal certification and was hoping to settle down into a new life with their son's father. So they were headed out on the road, and it was with great hope for the future. Yet things were about to go down a very dark and mysterious path. The trip took them through the wilderness along Highway 50, through the Sierra Nevada mountain range, and at some point in the remote mountains, they seemed to have vanished without a trace. They never would arrive at their destination, and their story would spawn a strange unsolved mystery involving talk of ghosts and guardian angels.
Wow.
Excuse me. When Christine and Nick failed to arrive, worried friends and family contacted authorities, but they were unable to turn up any trace of the two or their car despite extensive searches of the area. In the meantime, a woman named Deborah Hoyt woke up with a start in the early morning hours of June 10th, overcome with an incredibly strong, irresistible urge to leave her husband's parents' house in Sacramento, where they were staying at the time, and head back to their home in South Lake Tahoe. And she would later claim that she had no idea why she had this powerful compulsion, but it was strong enough that she managed to convince her husband that they had to go. And so they headed off in their car along Highway 50, the same road where Christine and her son had vanished. During that time, the Hoyts had no idea about the vanishing had even happened. All they knew was that Deborah was in a panic and overwhelmed by the urge to keep driving, and later saying, "I just felt like there was something pulling me into the mountains." As they drove along the winding road through the murky night at a section of Highway 50, known as Bullion Bend, near Placerville, the two of them were startled to come around a bend and see there, illuminated in their headlights, what looked to be a naked woman lying on her side in the middle of the road. The woman looked very pale and very dead, so the startled couple made their way to the nearest payphone and called police. Before long, Sheriff's Deputy Rich Strasser was on the scene, but riding back and forth along the same stretch of road showed no signs of the woman the Hoyts had described. However, Deborah Hoyt was so convinced of what they had seen that she implored Strasser to go back in the morning to check it out. He went back to that stretch of road in the morning, and once again, he could find no sign of anything amiss, but then something caught his attention. He saw something lying at the side of the road, and a closer inspection showed that it was a child's shoe. Just beyond this eerie one shoe was a steep embankment, and when Strasser looked down into the ravine below, he was shocked to see a car down there that fit the description of the vehicle that the missing Christine and Nick Skubish had been in when they had vanished. When the twisted wreckage of the car was examined, Christine was found dead, still strapped into her seatbelt, and thought to have died instantly when the car plunged 40 feet straight down. Nick was also found in the car, curled up in the fetal position, and also assumed to be dead, but so it was with great surprise that he was found to be still alive.
Wow.
For some reason, the boy was naked, his clothes folded up in the back seat of the car, despite the fact that nighttime temperatures had been very low. He would be rushed to the hospital, and despite suffering from severe dehydration and hypothermia, he managed to survive the ordeal of the crash and being stranded out in the woods for a full 5 days. It was not clear why he had removed his clothes or how he'd managed to survive that initial plunge down the cliff or the elements. He was very lucky because doctors would later determine if he had not been rescued by that time, he would have likely died within a few hours. As soon as the boy was lucid, he began to tell authorities of how he had exited the car and climbed up and down the embankments, likely explaining why the shoe had been there, and he would also tell of seeing a bright light floating about with a silhouette in it during his time cowering in the vehicle, which he called an angel, and that he had also seen his mom walking around outside despite the fact that she was killed instantly and still locked into her seatbelt. In the meantime, there was still no clue as to who the naked woman Deborah Hoyt had seen could be, and she became convinced that it was actually the ghost of the mother who had flagged her down to the area so that Nick could be found. Perhaps even leaving the shoe there to be found, and not only that, but had somehow been the one to instill the urgency within her to take that drive in the first place. This paranormal angle would only be bolstered by the eerie fact that Christine's mother would also later claim that she had also had a strange and inexplicable visions of her daughter calling out to her and drawing her to that road in the days she had been missing. Deputy Strasser agrees that something unexplainable and miraculous happened, and has said of this, "I absolutely think something special happened here. I think it is a miracle. It's a whole series of events that I can't explain, and I've often thought about it. I just don't have the answers." Skeptics have since pointed out that Deborah had seen either Christine alive or her son Nick on one of their forays up the embankment. However, Christine had died instantly, was fully clothed, and was still in her seatbelt, and Deborah Hoyt insists to this day that she saw a woman and not a child. What happened here, and who was the naked woman on the road that was seen? What is the meaning of Deborah Hoyt's vision? What were the mysterious forces that seemed to be orbiting this young boy, and how did he survive? Was this rescue just a mere coincidence? Or was there something more to it? Perhaps ghostly forces reaching into our reality to make sure he was saved? It is all a mysterious and seemingly rather miraculous case that evades any clear answers. Wow. I mean, it's still tragic because the mom died, of course.
Right.
And it's tragic that this child had to sit for 5 days.
Right.
That there was no one able to figure out where they were in all of that time. I mean, you'd think they would check those embankments, right? You know, I would think that'd be the first place I'd look. Look, they're driving through the mountains.
Yeah.
Check the embankments.
Right.
I mean, that's job number one.
Well, they were probably looking for like where, tire marks or, whatever, but
Sure.
if they just rolled right off the road, they probably would have never seen anything like that.
Sure. Yeah, maybe there was just no evidence that anything had happened, but yep. Can everybody say it with me? Guardrails. Let's get some in there. But that's just so sad that child was all by himself, but thank God he lived.
Naked?
Huh?
Why was he naked?
I don't know, and his clothes were folded up too. That's
and
what's
he was
weird.
still in his seatbelt. He was still in his seat.
No, he was curled up on the floor of the car.
Oh.
So,
okay.
I mean, he had gotten out of his seatbelt, and I don't know. And maybe it was a function of hypothermia. Like, when you're really suffering from hypothermia, like in the really cold, you get hot at the end. And when you're really, temperatures drop and you feel like you're burning up. And so, like a lot of people that die of exposure in the wintertime
Right.
are found barely clothed because they get so hot. They get this sensation of being so hot
I
that
didn't know that, actually.
yeah, they rip off their clothes. So, I mean, even like boots, taking off their boots and walking in socks in the snow.
Right.
So it's just a really weird thing. But I don't know. It's of course, a very sad story, but it's beautiful at the same time. So
Right. Hey, Wes, check your messenger. I got a question for you.
check your messenger.
Check your messenger.
Is Wes in here?
Yeah.
How you doing, Mr. Germer?
You know how he is, though. He just comes in to throw, pennies on the street corner with, after
Oh
he heats
no,
them up.
we love him here. We love it when Wes comes in to hang out. That's awesome, ladies and gentlemen. But what are we doing for time
Oh,
here?
we still got like 20 minutes.
No, we still
we
got
got
like
15.
15 minutes.
Yep.
Okay. Well, that's good. What should we do for 15 minutes, Don? Somebody give me a state.
Let's sing
Give me a state.
sea shanties.
There once was a ship that put to sea. The name of the ship was a belly of tea. The wind blew up the sail, oh, blow, my belly boy, blow. Soon may the weathermen come. Sorry, I love that song. That's the only sea shanty I know, Tom. Or
What
Don.
do we do with the drunken sailor? What do we do with the drunken sailor? What do we do with the drunken sailor? In the morning.
Oh, that's within
I see how
parameters.
you are. Okay.
I didn't know if it was a shanty or a limerick.
Shanties can be limericks. Well, at least
I didn't know I was
Washington.
What?
What state? Washington.
Oh, Washington. All right.
Washington.
All right. People are getting
And
to
then
business.
Colorado.
Let's see. Where the hell is it? I know it's here somewhere.
Not Ohio. We talk about Ohio all the time.
Don's setting the parameters here. Washington State, since we were just in Medellin Falls. Let's have
Yeah,
a
why
look.
not? How about Ponderay County? Ponderay,
There
right
it is. Ponderay. That's where we just
That's
were,
where
right?
we were. Oh, August 2020.
August 2020,
Class
Class
B?
B. I want a Class A though. I'm gonna go to
jeez.
because that's a sighting. The
Right.
backpackers camp stalking by a Sasquatch around midnight near Salmo Priest. I'm gonna go to the Class A's. I love the Class A's because those are actually sightings. I don't mind the other class sightings, but all right, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. BFRO.net. And this is from Ponderay County in Washington State, which was where we just were at Medellin Falls.
Yep.
2017 spring, and this is month of May. And location details, it was in Colville National Forest. Don't have the exact coordinates as we were off trail. Observed, I was hiking through Colville National Forest with a group of 4 other individuals, and we were all very spread apart and had encountered a field. The field was surrounded by woods with a lone tree in the middle. To help explain the scenario, I will say we were heading north, and I was the last person to walk through the field as I approached the tree in the center of the field. I heard noise from the west side of the field. I hid behind the tree and started scanning the wood line and made eye contact with what at the time I had no idea what it was. It stood at what I could only guess was anywhere between 7 and 10 feet in length. It was well concealed by the woods, so I couldn't get a clear shot of the body. However, the fur was of a dark brown/black color. Soon my fight or flight kicked in, and I ran over to where my friends were, waiting for me. As I took off, whatever I was looking at charged. Not at me, but in some direction. It was loud and had immense power. It fell a tree. Once I arrived at my friend's location, they asked me why I made so much noise. I explained the situation and convinced myself it was a bear. As an avid outdoorsman, I have seen bears, and what was definitely not a bear. It had to be Bigfoot. Other witnesses, 3 others heard the noises. I was the only one to make a visual. It was midday, early morning, good lights, temps at around 70 degrees Fahrenheit. Environment, pine trees.
Go figure.
That's pretty cool. That's a good sighting. That's a good sighting report, Don.
Wow.
So that was Stevens County, Ponderay County, rather. And let's see. Was there a Stevens County? We should check that out, too, because that's where Will Ulmer is.
Yep.
All right. Let's go to Stevens County. Here it is.
Yep.
16 reports there. All right. Let's see. When's that? May of 2016 was last Class A. And this is, we got to go to Colorado yet, don't we? Okay. 2016, summer, May, in Stevens County, Wellpinnet.
Well put it.
Okay. Nearest town. Turtle Road is the nearest road. One night about a year ago during the fire season, me and my husband and 3 children took a drive at night to see what damage accrued on the reservation. It was a clear night, and so my 14-year-old daughter and I got out to walk and look for hot spots. Well, we heard some loud grunts, and we turned to look, but it was hard to see, so I had my husband turn the headlights on, and we all saw 3 very ugly, hairy people. One was about 7 to 8 foot. The other was about 7 foot, but it wasn't as hairy. And a little one was about the size of a kid, age ranged from 7 to 9 years. Well, the big one took its arm and raised it and did a half circle motion. It made the most fierce noise, and we took off. There was 5 of us. There were 5, and one is autistic, so he can be very specific. No other stories. It was night, but it was clear and smelled like smoke, but it wasn't smoky. Forestry, all the animals had lost their home due to the big wildfire land. Yeah, that's 2016. I remember those fires coming. All the smoke came over here.
Yep.
It was like orange sunsets every night, and it smelled like your neighbor was burning leaves all day.
Somebody asked for Chelan County in Washington.
Chelan County? Chelan. Okay, let's take a look.
There used to be a burger joint there called the Calico Cow.
How do you spell Chelan?
CH.
Oh, it's CH. Oh, okay,
There
here
it
it
is,
is. 23 reports in Chelan. All right, let's see. When's the last class? 2016 again. 2016 was busy. Must have been a lot of the fires, huh?
Oh, yeah, good point.
All right, fall 2016, October 2nd, Washington, Chelan County. Just past Coles Corner, heading west towards Stevens Pass. Approximately 34 miles east of the pass, Coles Corner and Leavenworth were the nearest towns. Nearest highway or road was Highway 2. Observed, driving in my car on the highway, my friend and I saw a dark figure ahead of us, walking on a bluff beside the road. He was walking towards us. As we got very near, we saw him clearly. A hairy, tall man-like figure, about 7 to 8 feet tall. He was very dark, and his face was very clear. His head had a peak to it. He turned and looked at our car, and then went off into the trees to his left. We both looked at each other and confirmed that we had just seen Bigfoot. It was amazing. And 2 witnesses, other stories, yes, a forest biologist that I spoke to on the phone about my sighting told me that there were other sightings in this area. Also, I spoke to a woman from U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, and she told me as well of sightings known to this area. That's interesting that you get an actual admission. Time and conditions, 10:30 a.m. Principal highway, mountainous area with forests. Wow, that's a good one.
You're not going to read the follow-up?
I never read the follow-ups. That's just the investigators looking into it. Unless that's a witness follow-up. Yeah, that's by the investigators. So,
there you go.
There you go, folks.
What's a bluff? A bluff is like a hilly cliff.
Yeah. The bluffs are, they're basically, according to the dictionary, because I looked them up, because I grew up next to a hill called Rattlesnake Bluff. And I was always curious, what's the difference between a bluff and a mountain? Generally, mountains are much taller, but the dictionary says a bluff is any hill with a rounded top. A mountain has a point. That's what's the dictionary told me. So I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what I know them to be. So I don't know about that. But anyway, we will be having a special episode airing soon on our podcast. When it's going to be released exactly, I don't know. But I will tell you that it's one you're definitely going to want to check out. And we'll follow it up with a very cool video on our YouTube channel. But keep watching for that. If you're not already subscribed and following our podcast, you're going to want to. I think you'll want to. I think so. Thanks, Paranormal Portal. Thank you, Aiden. I appreciate that. But anyway, at any rate, we hope you're always checking out our podcasts. If you're not, please try it out. Well, they're generally a very different show than what we do here on YouTube. These are more variety shows, us just having fun talking or interviewing people or taking phone calls, whatever. But the podcasts are generally interviews with people that have had experiences or at least have something to share in the paranormal field. So we hope you will check those out if you haven't already. Again, they're on iHeart, TuneIn, or iHeart, iTunes, Pandora, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, Castbox, and a bunch of other ones. There's just literally dozens of locations to find the Paranormal Portal. We hope you will. Brent Don, thanks for the great show. Thank you, Titan. We appreciate that, brother. So, at any rate, I guess that's going to about wrap up our journey, Don. What do you think?
Sounds like the journey has come to an end tonight.
Yeah, we hope you had a good time. Again, the Wednesdays are usually a straight shot. We don't usually take breaks. So
That's right.
we hope you've had a good time. Again, thank you, Taco, for the video. That was awesome. I really appreciate that. And thank you all for being here with us. It's always a sincere pleasure for us to do these shows, and it means so much that so many of you come along and join us on this epic journey.
That's correct.
It's an epic journey. Anything in closing, Mr. Don?
Like, subscribe, share, listen to the podcast, and Teespring.
And remember Teespring. That's where you get your fantastic portal gear, much like Karen and her hubby.
Yeah, they were sporting t-shirt. They were sporting our t-shirts.
Check, and if you haven't checked out the live streams from the event.
Oh, happy girl. Thank you.
Oh, happy girl. Love you. Thank you so much. We really appreciate it. Always appreciate.
Yes, give it a try.
But yeah, Karen and her significant other both had Don's rocker design on.
Yeah.
Looked good. Looked really good. And they were representing the portal through the whole event. So if you haven't already got a portal shirt of your own, or gear of some kind, check out teespring.com/stores/paranormal-portal. And the link is in the description as well. So that's all I know. Thank you, Andrew. We appreciate you being here. We thank you all for being here.
Wes, if you're still listening, check your messenger.
Jeez. You're like a naggy woman. No, I'm just kidding. All right.
So?
That's the comeback of the century. So
So.
it worked for me in 3rd grade.
There you go.
No, I'm just kidding. All right, guys. Well, we hope you had a good time with us tonight. I'll be back tomorrow night with the Night Terrors. And Don, you'll be back on Friday, right?
That is so far the plan, yes.
Happy Girl's hitting it twice? What?
What?
Wow. Thank you.
Double clap.
Thank you very much. Another clap. All right.
Okay. All right.
All right, guys. That's all we got for you. Love you all. Be good. Be kind. Be nice. Take care of each other. Help each other out. Find the magic in every day. And remember to laugh as much as you can.
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 All right. With that, we're going to go. Take care. Have a great night. Be safe and sweet dreams.
Good night.
Good night.